Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I'm the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. Today, we are going to do a webinar and show you guys the new mobile app. So it is the official mobile app for BNI Connect. And we're going to go in, we're going to poke around, we're going to see what it looks like, show you some of the features and the benefits of using it. And also, I'm going to show you how it actually ties in to BNI Connect. And how it can really enhance your membership in a lot of ways that maybe you didn't think about before. So just a couple of real quick housekeeping things before we even get started. First of all, this is a live webinar. So if you're here with me on the 12th of May, 2017, you have the added benefit of being able to ask questions. Ask any questions that you want to. I'm happy to answer those questions, whether it's about the BNI mobile app or BNI Connect or the slips or anything else you'd like to ask about. Please do feel free to ask those questions. Secondly, if you are listening to this webinar in the future, that means that you have found one of our recordings. We do record all of these webinars and we make them available. We put them up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, and also on the Member Resource Center. You can access the Member Resource Center by clicking on this question mark here in the upper right-hand corner of BNI Connect, or of course you can access it by going to the Member Resource Center in the mobile app, which I'll show you in just a couple of moments, or you can get there just by going to support.bniconnect.com. So tons of different ways to get there, and you can access those recordings and also sign up for other webinars that might be happening. But okay, let's go ahead and get started with this. Now, this obviously what you're looking at right now is BNI Connect itself. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up another window here and bring up my mobile phone for you. So this is my actual mobile phone. By the way, I am a member. I've been a member of the BNI Wakefield chapter here in Rhode Island since 2002. So I actually use this on a daily basis myself. So let's take a look at what this all looks like and how it goes. By the way, if you haven't downloaded it yet, here on an Android phone anyway, I use Android as opposed to iPhone, but whether or not you're using Android or iPhone, what you want to make sure you do is you download its BNI Connect Mobile. That's the most important thing. There are some other BNI related apps that are out there. This is the only official BNI Connect mobile app. I know that there was one out there a while back that has been removed from the store at this point. So this should be the only one that you're using that actually goes into BNI Connect and is accessing the system through our API. Once you've downloaded it, you can go ahead and open this up. And this is what you'll see. Now, I've already logged in, but you can, let me see if I can log out for you guys so you can see the login screen here. So here we go. Let me log out. And here's our login screen. It'll remember your username. Once you put your password in, it will remember your password, so you can just jump right back into it as well. Now, one thing about the BNI Connect mobile app is that you do have to log in and create your account at least once in the full website. So you do have to log into the full website in order to actually create your account, which most people do when they get that invitation to register, right when they've joined BNI. But one thing you can do, however, is if you've forgotten your password, let's say that you logged into BNI Connect 2 years ago when you became a member and you haven't logged in since and you've forgotten your password, you can go ahead and click on Forgot Password here. Just input your email address that would be in BNI Connect, and it will allow you to reset your password once you have answered your super secret question. So let's go back here. Let me get logged in and get logged into the system here. So let me just type my password in here. And then let's get back over to the app here. So I should be able to sign in now. All right, so one thing to know is that when you're using the BNI Connect mobile app, you are actually logging into BNI Connect itself. We have developed a very special API that goes along with this mobile app. It was developed specifically for this mobile app. So when you're using the mobile app, you're using BNI Connect. That also means that if we're going to be doing updates to BNI Connect, or if the system is down for maintenance or anything like that, you won't be able to log into the app either. But everything you're doing is 100% live, and that's a really important thing to understand. So when I first log in here, this is going to show me, really, it's very similar to the home screen in BNI Connect right now, and you'll see that we have the last 12 months, and if I swipe to the right, I can also see my lifetime membership as well. So swiping left and right will give me the last 12 months again, and the lifetime statistics for my membership. Most of the action happens along the bottom. You'll see those different icons along the bottom. We have our home screen, which is where we are now. We have the slips. If I click on slips, this will go in. It will show me all of the slips that I've input for the past couple of weeks. Actually, it goes for the last 30 days. The last 1 month of slips will be here. So any referrals that I've put in, any CEUs, one-to-ones, these are all going to be listed here. I can even choose the little down arrow here. I can go in and I can review the details. So if I can click on the eyeball here, that will give me all of the details of that referral that I passed. Now, up until the point when that has been submitted by the vice president, you'll see that I can also go in and edit this. So if I need to change any of the details of this particular referral, I can do that, or the one-to-one or the CEU. And I could also delete it if I had entered it accidentally. It is important, though, once that POMS report has been submitted, which is usually going to happen within a couple of days after your chapter meeting. Like, let me go back down to one of these a little bit earlier this month, and let's say that this particular one-to-one here, you'll notice that the only thing I have here is the view button. That's it. I can't go in, I can't edit it, I can't do anything else. I can only click the view button. Now, if I want to see things that I've received, in other words, referrals that people have sent to me, I can take a look at the received tab right here. I have received one referral recently, so that is listed here. I can go in, again, click that little down arrow, click the details icon, and I have all this contact information for this particular referral. Now, if you want to submit one of these, I can click one of those icons along the top. Thank you for closed business, referrals, CEUs, and one-to-ones. So, for example, if I click on the referral button, let's say I have a referral for somebody. I can choose somebody from my chapter, of course, using this drop-down, and I can fill out the details of the referral. Now, the other thing that we can do is cross-chapter. So if you're going to do a cross-chapter referral, you can do that as well. All you have to do is click on that magnifying glass here. So let's say that I have a cross-chapter referral for Stephanie Blumenthal. She's in my region here. Now, that is the thing. It is limited right now only to people in your region. We are looking at a way to get nationwide referrals coming up towards the end of the year, but for now we are limited to just cross chapters within your region. But here we go. We have Stephanie Blumenthal. I'm going to choose Stephanie and click continue. And it now puts Stephanie in my list there instead of the drop-down. I can choose whether it's an inside or outside referral, the status of that, and I can even use the address book to go in and pick out the referral details. So if you have that person in your address book, go ahead and do a search for them. Let's say I'm doing a Tier 1 inside referral. I'm going to refer myself here. I can click on that result, choose which of the contact details I'm going to share here. And you'll see it fills all the information out for me on this referral slip. Of course, I could have just typed all that in manually if I wanted to as well. And I can put some comments on here. This is for testing purposes. Okay, rate that referral 1 to 5 and click save. And of course, the same things happen as when you send a referral through BNI Connect. Stephanie will get a notification about that referral, and it will immediately go into my referral list here. So this is now my given list. It is now showing me this referral that I just turned in. Now, here's the cool thing. Again, this is happening live in BNI Connect. So if I go to BNI Connect right now, I'm just going to switch screens on you. And on this BNI Connect screen, in my review, my referral slips report, It's here already. All right, so if I go and I take a look, it should be right here, Stephanie Blumenthal, 5/12/17. This is for testing purposes. I just input it and it is there in BNI Connect immediately. So there's no synchronization, there's no waiting. It is there automatically. All right, we have a couple of questions that have popped up here. Walter says, when you put a referral in the app, how does it tell the person that they got one? Do we still need to submit one during the chapter meeting? So here's the deal. When I submit that app, that referral right there, it will immediately send an email to Stephanie. All right, so Stephanie is going to get an email alert to her email box saying, hey, you just got a new referral. Congratulations. And let me see if I can pull up one from my regular email and show you what those look like. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to, oh, here's a referral actually that that's the one that I just showed you a few minutes ago. This is a referral notification email. I received this yesterday. I can see that it was rated a 4 and who the referral name is and the contact information. And it has all of my the contact information for my referral partner as well. All right, so Walter, does that answer your question? All right, so let's see, I think Walter has another couple other questions here. Why doesn't your password saved? Your password should save. As soon as you've entered your password once, it should save it for the next time that you log in until you, completely back out of the app. If you purposefully log out of the app again, if you've uninstalled it and reinstalled it, then it will ask you to log in again. So that should, it should save it though. I mean, if I was to close my app, go back to my home screen right now, it would it would just log me right back in. So. All right, Walter says, what if your chapter only wants paper submissions and not the new way of doing it? Walter, if your chapter is insisting on paper submissions and not allowing the use of the app, that's probably a discussion you need to have with your leadership team and your director consultant or your really your executive director. We can't manually control use of the app on a chapter by chapter basis. I'd love to have a conversation with your vice president and tell them why it's such a good idea. And actually what I'll do is I'll show you what happens when you start using this as well. Now, as for the chapter meeting, they may still want the paper because it's really exciting to the visitors. They love to see the paper flying around and it's good for the door prize as well. So, there's still reasons why you might want paper at the chapter meeting. But the thing is that when you're using the app, it all just automatically goes into the POMS report, so it actually lightens the workload of the vice president. So, Walter, does that answer your question? Awesome, thank you. Let's see. So Vanessa had a couple of questions. Is there a way we can write notes on the referrals, like called, was busy, call again? So in the app, no, but I'll tell you what, when I flip over to BNI Connect, I'll show you a way to do that using the referral tracking system. All right, Nikki says, if a member I send a referral to has not downloaded the app, will they still receive the referral? Absolutely. If they don't have the app, they will receive the email anyway. They will also receive the email in, or the referral itself in BNI Connect. So absolutely. All right, and Tina asks, is the app currently down? It won't allow me to log in. No, the app's not currently down. I'm in the live app right now doing this demonstration, so it's definitely live, up and running. It's here. So if you're having trouble logging in or it won't let you log in, it might just be your password, and feel free to send us a quick note, support@bniconnect.com. We can help you out with that. All right, so let's just take a look at a couple of the other things here. We can do the other types of slips. So we have the one-to-one in the upper right-hand corner. Again, I can choose who from my chapter I met with, who initiated that conversation, where we met, right, when we met, topics of conversation, me, my favorite topic of conversation, and I can click save. Now, of course, the one-to-ones will appear in both of our slip feeds because it takes two people to have that one-to-one. Again, CEUs are the same way. If you download the app, make sure you go in and give yourself, one CEU for today's session. So it doesn't really matter which one you choose as long as it is a 1 credit. All right, I'm going to give myself a credit for today's webinar. And of course, we have the thank you for closed business as well. Now, there are no notifications with thank you for closed business. The only way that the other person will know about it is if you announce it at the chapter meeting. This has to be this way. By the way, we do get tons and tons of requests saying, hey, we'd love it if we got notified for thank you for closed business. Unfortunately, we simply can't do it for legal reasons. There's a lot of businesses out there that, we can't tie that information together is what it comes down to. So there may be future ways to do it, but as of right now, we are a bit limited in that ability to give a notification for a thank you for closed business. All right, so that's the basics. That's the slips there. Let's take a look. There's a couple of other things here. Along the bottom, we have the slips. Then over next to that, we have the roster. So the roster really is my chapter roster. So this is all of the people in my chapter. So I can go through, I can scroll through them, I can click on somebody. So for example, Greg Rosso here, I can click on him. I can give him a call by clicking on that little phone icon. I can send him an email. I could view his contact record, for example, go to his website, get his different phone numbers, his address, go check out his website. I could share his contact details by clicking on that. I can use any of my default apps to send a V card with all of his information. I could even send a V card to myself if I wanted to import it into my own contacts list. Now, right now we are just, this is version 1.1. So we only have our chapter in here. One of the next steps that we will be doing at some point is allowing you to search for other people in the region and the country and hopefully one day the world as well. All right, the next thing on here is the invitation. So if you would like to invite a visitor to your chapter, let's say that you are out at a networking event and you meet somebody and say, hey, you'd be a great fit for BNI. I'd love to introduce you to the people in my chapter. You can send them an invite right then and there. So just click on the invite button. I can, again, fill this all out, just typing it through, or once again, I can use my address book and send an invitation to somebody. So once again, I'm going to just send an invitation to myself here so that you guys can see what this looks like. It fills out all the details from the contact card. Now you can put your own personal message up at the top of this invitation if you'd like to, or you don't have to. You can just go ahead and click send. Now, one thing to note, you will get a carbon copy of that. So a carbon copy will come to your email address automatically. That way you'll know that it was actually sent out. You'll know what that says as well. And I should get that in my email in about 5, 4, 3, 2, let's see, and there it is. So here is that invitation that has come through. How will you grow your business? Give some information about BNI, and the most important thing here, we have a learn more about BNI, and after the details for the chapter and RSVP now. So we encourage your visitors to register right from that email. They click RSVP now. Now, some people have said, well, can we register our visitors? Well, the way to do that would be when you get this email, you can go ahead and click that RSVP now for them and fill out that information. Of course, you could always log in to BNI Connect and do that through the operations menu. All right, let me get back over to the app here. All right, so that's the invite. Now, under the More button, we also have a bunch more things. So we can do things like, for example, edit our profile. All right, so if I go into the profile here, this will allow me to do things like I can update my address, my contact information, my business description, my keywords. Now, this isn't giving us access to the full profile, okay? This is only giving access to certain things. Now, I don't know too many people, maybe some Generation Z people that are going to sit there and thumb type out their whole bio, the gains profile and the tops profile and all that kind of stuff. Some things are just better with a full keyboard and logging into the full BNI Connect experience. So, we have a limited profile that we can fill out for now from here. So that said, one thing that you can do, and that's really easy to do, is to go in and update your picture. So you can go and just click on your photo button here, right? And I can even go in, I can go and pick a photo from my photo album, or I can use the camera, right? So there you guys are. Let me flip that around, do it in selfie mode. Hi, everyone. I'm going to take a picture. Let's accept that one. And I'm going to go ahead. I can crop this down if I want to, or zoom in on it. And hit save, and now this is my new profile picture. So really, really, really easy to get a new photo up there. All right, let's go back to that More button again. I see a quick question from Trish here about the profile. Is there a way to copy paste profile details? Trish, you mean to put stuff in there, or to copy and paste them and then put them into an email or something like that? I would just imagine that you could use the long press on a lot of things in order to copy and paste it. Like I could long press on this and do the copy and paste. But honestly, if you're going to be taking it from Microsoft Word or something like that, you're probably just going to want to log into it from your computer in order to do that. That's going to be much more efficient that way. This is really much, much better for quick edits. Okay. All right. So some other things under the More button. The most important things under here, we have our support, feedback, and resource center. So just clicking on those in order, the support, this will take us to the support site where you would be able to go in. You can submit a help request from here. You can also go in and take a look at the help center. So we have how to reset your password, for example, with a help guide. I am building this as quickly as I can. I'm putting more articles up there to guide people through things. To be completely honest, it's pretty user-friendly, so not too many people have had to use this help section yet. The other thing you can do, there's also the feedback tab. So if I click on feedback, now this one is really cool because what we're not looking to do is to just create another BNI Connect just on your phone. This is really going to be its own standalone experience, hopefully with a lot of great member tools in it. But what we really need is to hear from you. Now, Stephen Schwartz, who is the Vice President of Global IT for BNI, we meet on a weekly basis and go through every single request and comment. And that is how the list is being built in order to put the next set of features into the system. I know one of the very next things we're going to be doing is messaging within the app, or really native alerts in the app, so that we're not as reliant on email. But take a look through some of these. I mean, we have some great suggestions in here. Go through, read them. You can vote for them. You can put your own comments into them. You could give this one basically an upvote if you'd like to. And you can even make some comments. So again, we are looking for your feedback. All right, so the other thing that we have here is the brand new Resource Center. And the Resource Center is really just a ton of articles and podcasts and things that, when you're sitting there in the doctor's office waiting to be seen for your next checkup, you can go through and take a look at some of the member resources, for example. I could listen to one of the BNI Global Convention recordings, or take a look and listen to one of the podcasts that are in here that are done by Dr. Meisner. And we give you a whole bunch of recommendations that you can download and listen to right there, or you can go through and be taken directly to that site. All right, and that, my friends, is the mobile app. Now, as I said, once you start keeping track of these things in the app, that means that all this stuff is now going to go into BNI Connect, which is really, really awesome, because now we have all of these reports, like the referrals received report. If we're only going to show you about a month right now in the app itself, but you can always go back in here and, for example, take a look at referrals received, I can go back and look at referrals for the past 10 years, or not, well, 10 years is a little bit much. We've only been using BNI Connect since 2011, but I could go back to the start of BNI Connect and take a look at every single referral that I've received electronically, right? And I can check out, hey, who are my best referral sources? For example, when you start doing the one-to-ones and recording all your one-to-ones properly through the app or through BNI Connect, I can go back and review my one-to-one slips and see, hey, this is the last 6 months. Who have I not had a one-to-one with yet? Right? You can start to strategize your membership. Now, I know there was a couple of questions. Oh, Trish, yes, this is, by the way, being recorded. I'll show you how to get to those recordings shortly. But that said, from Vanessa, is there a way we can take notes about referrals and things like that? Yes, you can. So the way we do that, we do have to log into the full BNI Connect experience for that. That's going to be in bniconnect.com. But there is a thing here that says track your referrals received online. And what this will do is allow you to search. Now you can search for any 6-month period. You can go back multiple years, but hopefully those have been resolved at this point. By default, it's going to give you the last month, though. So here's the referral. Now, again, keep in mind, this is the same referral that's appearing in the app. It's the same one that's in the report. So this is all tied together here. But I can go in, for example, and click on Edit. And here's where I can go in and change the status. Is this pending, or is it closed, or was this a no sale? I can put in the date that I contacted the person, when I met with them, when I followed up. Now, we can't really keep too many notes in here, but at the very least you can track the progress of this referral. Now, the really cool thing about this is that with the status here, right? So if I was to mark this status as a closed deal, for example, if Charlie, my referral partner, went to his referrals given report, there is, so let me just go to my referrals given report, review my referral slips, and there's this tracking sheet status. So once I mark that as closed, Charlie will see that it's closed in his tracking sheet. So now we have this two-way conversation about it. Now, I'm sure hoping we get this tracking sheet into the app at some point in the relatively near future. I think that would be a huge benefit. But right now, that is something that you do have to go into BNI Connect for, but it's a great way to share the status with your referral partner. All right, so hopefully that answers your question, Vanessa. All right, let's see. We do have a bunch more questions. Let me start going through some of these questions here. So Trish, you had a couple of questions about your internet being dropped, but I think I've already answered those, that yes, it is being recorded, and the member always does receive an email. Again, we don't have notifications in the app yet. That is one of the things that we're looking to do a little bit later this year. Walter says, are we able to submit these slips in both this system and paper? Yes, I mean, the thing is when you're using paper, okay, so if you're just turning it in on paper, none of the details get captured. Okay, so when you turn it in on paper, all that your vice president does, or whoever's keeping track of the numbers, all they do is go in and put a 1 in the column in the POMS report. The rest of the info on that paper just gets thrown away. So if you want the level of tracking detail, like the actual names of the referrals and the names of your referral partner and the phone numbers and email addresses and all of that, then you really, really need to put those details in by putting them in electronically. Again, I can log into BNI Connect and do it from here, the submit slips, or I can do that right from the app. So does that answer your question about that, Walter? All right. Trish says, speaking from a director perspective, are there any plans to allow us that aren't current members of chapters to participate? That's something that is being discussed right now. I'll tell you that it's just the way that BNI Connect was designed and the way that it records referrals and all of that is that it's tied to the POMS report, right? So, we're recording this stuff because we want credit to go into a POMS report, which is how we have our accountability and our chapter and everything like that. And the limitation right now is that because you don't have a membership, there's no POMS report to tie this to. So we're looking at ways to maybe have that happen. However, it's going to be complicated. It's going to be a little while. So we are going to figure out how to do that at some point. Just a lot to talk about with that. So. And yes, I do know that a lot of time it's with the BNI line, and it's really just it's a matter of association as a user. So love to go over that with you. Maybe if I see you at conference next week, I can draw you a little picture of how it's all laid out. But it just gets complicated. Is what it comes down to. All right, Walter had another question. He says, how do they make sure you are not getting duplications? So if I enter it in the app but want to give it to a meeting so visitors can see it, how do I make sure not doing duplications? So let me just show you. So here's the deal. And I'm going to, let me go to my own chapter here. So what happens is when you are submitting them online through BNI Connect, or you're submitting them through the app, what's happening is that they're getting put into a POMS report for next week. Okay, so if I go, let's say that I'm the vice president of my chapter and I'm going to enter the details for our chapter meeting, take attendance and all of that kind of stuff. I would go in and I'd go to my Enter POMS functionality here. And let's say that I was entering for this coming week's meeting. Let's just take our DeLorean to the future. What you'll see is the POMS report is already partially filled out, right? We can see that some one-to-ones have happened, some referrals have happened, some thank you for closed business has happened. That's because as soon as they're being entered on the mobile app, or they're being entered in BNI Connect, they are being forwarded into the POMS report. So first of all, most vice presidents, when they sit down to do it, they have a pretty good idea of what was passed at that meeting. So, people that are putting in duplicates, it gets pretty obvious that they're doing so. Not very often that you have, 2 or 4 or 6 or however many multiples of referrals and things like that to the same person. But if you want to be sure, there is a button. If you look at the top here, it says Slips Audit Report. And this Slips Audit Report for vice presidents is what shows them the details of all of that activity for the week. So, you can see, for example, that, I turned in that CEU a few moments ago, that I just passed that referral to Stephanie Blumenthal in the director's chapter. You can see that, Ken Neff had a one-to-one with Danielle Anderson. So all of this information is in detail in the POMS report. With the exception of the thank you for closed business, we can't see who turned in those slips for privacy reasons, but we can see who generated the money and the amount of money that they generated. All right, so does that answer your question, Walter? So yes, in other words, it is up to the VP to make sure it doesn't happen. Vanessa says, does this count as a CEU? Absolutely. Make sure you give yourself a credit for today's session. Vicky says, if we have questions in the future, can we contact you directly? If so, will you provide your email address? Yes. So let me tell you, the easiest way and the absolute best way to contact us is by submitting a support ticket, because if you email me, it's just going to come to me. It would be much better if it went to the whole team, and any of us on the support team can help you out. So the way to do that, if you log into BNI Connect, click on this question mark in the upper right-hand corner, and that will take you to the support page. From here, click on Submit a Request. This will basically submit a support ticket to us, to our team, and anybody from the team. We have coverage 24/5, which is 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. We do take the weekends off, but we do have a global team that can help with that. From the app, let me go back to the app here for a minute and show you that screen. Again, you can go to the More button, and if you go to the Support tab, this would allow you to submit a ticket from here as well. And the drop down up at top, it's not on mine because I'm an admin, but there is a Submit a Request up in the top bar from there as well. So there's multiple ways to do that. If you do want to send an email, support@bniconnect.com. Support@bniconnect.com. All right, does that help, Vicki? Tim says, can you walk back through submitting a CEU? Absolutely. So if you're doing it on the app here, I would go on the bottom row, I'd click on slips. Then in the top red row, I would click on CEU. And you just give yourself a credit. Now, you'll see that some things are worth 1 credit, 2 credit, 3 credit, 4 credit, 5 credit. Now, there's no way that we could possibly list every single type of training that's out there and available. So the spirit of this is really, how long did you spend at the training? Was it an hour? Was it a 2-hour training? Was it a 4-hour training? You know, things like reading a book, you know, most books take about 5 hours to read, so that's why it's worth 5 credits, right? So the 5 podcasts, for example, you know, they're about 10 to 12 minutes a piece. That's why 5 is 1 credit. So just give yourself the appropriate number of credits. Again, if it's one of these, it will auto-calculate, right? So that just gave me 50. I'm not going to give myself 50. I'm going to back out of that one. But hopefully that helps there, Tim. Now, if you're doing it in BNI Connect, just go to, again here, let me close that. Back on my home screen, there is a Submit CEU, right? And I just would choose the same thing. It's very similar to the way the app works. Let's see, Vanessa says, I put in feedback. I'd really like to be able to put notes in, names, and the words closed business don't help me remember who the client was. I agree with you. I'd love to have more trackability and hopefully a full, you know, tracking functionality, almost like a CRM, if you will, for referrals. Hopefully that's something that members ask for and something that we'll consider for a future release. So I'm very excited. I mean, Stephen is committed to using member feedback in order to grow this app to be a member-focused tool. So a lot of people have also asked, hey, well, what about leadership team functions, and what about director functions and director visits, and entering POMS reports and all of that? Again, right now we are focusing on building the best member app that we can. There may be a time that we consider either putting director functionality or leadership team functionality into it. More than likely, it might even just be its own standalone app. We really have no idea. We're really early in this right now. But again, we're looking for member feedback. Okay. Trish says, is there a way to know how many of our members are actively using it right now? Done a couple of 10 minutes going through the basics, and members love it. Yes, members are loving it. There is no analytics right now as far as how many people are using it. I can tell you how many people have downloaded it. We have had, let me just pull this number up real quick. As of this morning, I believe it is, yep, as of this morning, there have been 32,000 downloads. Now, it's only available right now in the UK, Ireland, and here in the United States. But we have had 32,000 downloads. That's about 34% of our members have downloaded this. If you want more detail, right now we're looking at about 18,000 or so, I'm sorry, 21,000 Apple users, and about 18,000, I'm sorry, 10,000 Android users. So does that help, Trish? All right, Walter says, if we click on feedback to give a suggestion when it opens in the app, do you pick the new post? Yes, you can do a new post, although I really recommend, if you can, take a look through what's there and make a comment on something that's already there. Otherwise, we're kind of spreading our votes around. If there's already something there, I do recommend clicking on that one. So, awesome. Thank you, Walter. Now, do we have any more questions? Any more questions at all about the mobile app, about BNI Connect, about anything? I'd love to hear questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, complaints. Yep. So Walter, definitely, that feedback is the place to do that. So the feedback is where you want to do that. So if I go to, again, I'm going to go to more. I'm going to click on feedback. Again, if you can go through and if there's something that you think is a good idea, just make a comment on that and submit a comment, or click on the upvote arrow, for example. So here's that little upvote arrow. Sarah's got 2 upvotes on this one so far. Or if you click new post, then you would be submitting a brand new idea. And the comments can be as simple as, yes, I agree. I think this is an awesome idea. That's the type of feedback we are looking for, is how many people agree with it, how many people like it, how many people are in support of it. All right, Tony says thank you. And Tony's a long-time member in California. Tony, thank you so much for being on the webinar today. All right, cool. So any other questions? What did you guys think of the webinar? This is the first time I've done this particular webinar, even though I have a whole series of webinars for BNI Connect. This was the first time I've done this one. So definitely would love your feedback as well via email or comments. Feel free to shoot those to me. I'm probably going to start including this one in the monthly rotation. By the way, if you thought that this was well worth your time, if you like the delivery and what we went over, I do a series of webinars on a monthly basis. You can find those all on the support site or on your regional calendars. If you go to the support site, right here on live and recorded webinars, our upcoming webinars here in the upper left, we are almost through the series. This was today's BNI mobile app. I've already done the first 3 steps. On Tuesday, we're going to be talking about member tools and reports. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking about inviting and registering. I'm sorry, this Monday and Tuesday, we'll be talking about inviting and registering visitors. We're going to be going to a conference, so we're going to be taking a little break, and then we're going to go to our leadership team series. And then I'm going to do that whole series again in June. So please join us. A good referral for me is to let people know about these webinars, share them with other members, share the recordings with other members, and love to get the knowledge out there, out of my brain and into yours. All right, so on that note, I'm just going to say thank you guys so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate you taking the hours out of your busy days to be here with me for a little while learning more about BNI Connect. I look forward to seeing you on a future webinar. Have an awesome weekend and happy connecting.